What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys don't know me already, my name is Lucian and I am a full-time videographer and drone pilot based in the Bay Area. And so for today's video, it's going to be a little bit different than usual. To be completely honest, I've been kind of tired of just doing all these different drone videos, all this gear videos. I think the landscape of YouTube is getting a little bit boring. So right now I just want to sit down and have an honest conversation with you guys about some reasons why I love being a videographer, but also some reasons why I don't like it. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. All right, guys, so to start off, I'm gonna start off with some reasons why I honestly love being a videographer. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I can honestly say that it's been overall pretty good. You know, like I'm able to support myself. I live in my own apartment. I'm able to pay rent. I have a car. I'm able to live my life off of doing videos and making content and being a videographer. So it's honestly been really great, but obviously there's pros and cons to everything. But we're gonna firstly start off with all the reasons why I honestly genuinely love being a videographer. So the first reason why I love being a videographer and filmmaker is the fact that I'm able to be creative on a daily basis. I've always been a really creative person. You know, like when I was in college, I used to make a lot of electronic music. That was my first dream. I really wanted to be like a DJ, producer. I really loved to make dance music. I made house music. It was so fun for me. But after I realized it was kind of hard for me to always stay inspired making music, you know, like to be completely honest, like it was really hard to make good tracks sometimes, you know, like inspiration would only hit sometimes. And let's be honest, like making money from music is really difficult, you know, like the music industry is so cutthroat, you know, like the video industry is already kind of like a dog-eat-dog world, you know, the video industry, imagine the music industry. So the older I got, and once I moved back from college, like I started to realize like, you know what, maybe being a DJ, being a producer isn't the best career path. And that's when I slowly started transitioning over to video. And I actually got into video because I wanted to kind of get more exposure with my music. Like when I was first releasing music, I knew that like people aren't just gonna listen to it on SoundCloud, you know, like I need to release on Spotify, I need to make music videos, I need to make live performances, I need to make my YouTube channel, I need to make tutorials. And the more I started doing video, the more I just kind of gradually grew into just liking video more. And especially once I started reaching out to some people in the Bay Area to do some work as video, that's when it kind of sealed the deal. That's when I realized like, holy crap, like this could actually be an opportunity for me to make a life, make a career. And that's when I basically slowly just kind of went all into video with all the gear. All my time just went into video as opposed to music. And I haven't really turned back ever since. And I've been happy about it. But yeah, back to that first reason is I really love to be creative on a daily basis. You know, like being a videographer really allows you to do that. You know, like obviously right now I'm doing full-time like real estate work. So I mean, you guys can, you know, talk all the smack you want. I mean, I'm just filming houses, you know, but like, and it's fun, you know, it's creative, you know, like I show up to a house, sometimes they're really nice, sometimes they're whatever, but like I'm able to just kind of work out my creativity muscle on a daily basis, you know, whether it's taking photos for a listing or just doing some video, doing some drone footage. And obviously, yeah, I don't always get the nicest houses, but every once in a while I do get to film these really nice mansions. I'm able to do the full package, you know, get a ton of drone clips, do some really cool day to night transitions, and you can get really fun with it and get really experimental with it. And that's why I love it. And another cool reason about it is the fact that like doing video and pictures and stuff is like, obviously there's some guidelines to it, you know, like I have a boss I work for and he kind of has his own opinions about what a good video is or what good pictures are. But like overall, there's like no right or wrong answer with pictures and video, you know, like obviously you want to deliver good content since I'm a professional, good quality, you know, correct content, you know, but there's so many different ways to get that, you know, like there's so many different kind of camera movements you could do to show off a house. There's different things you can accentuate with the details, you know, like it's really open to interpretation. And I really love that about video, you know, like every day is a little bit different, you know, like obviously I am just filming houses all the time, but every house is a little bit different, you know, every neighborhood is a little bit different. Every house has different features. There's different lighting. I mean, it's just really great fun to just be able to film on my camera and use all my camera gear for work. So I really love that about being a filmmaker, videographer. All right, guys, another reason why I really love being a videographer and filmmaker in 2025 is the fact that It's a really simple transaction for me. Like, I know some of you guys may be able to relate to this, but like when I was in college, when I was a young adult, like I really didn't know what I wanted to be, you know? Like I knew I liked music, I liked technology, I liked to be creative, but like deep down I knew like I really did not want to follow that typical career path where I work in a cubicle, work a 9 to 5, climb that corporate ladder, you know? Like I just knew it wasn't for me at a young age. And I really like videography and filmmaking because it's a very simple transaction and a very simple profession that makes sense to me. And what I mean by that is that it's relatively simple, you know, like I show up with my gear, I get images, whether it's pictures, video, audio, drone footage, whatever it is. And then I either have to edit that, which I usually don't, but I usually just deliver the footage and then I get paid. And I really like the simplicity of that, you know, like I've worked so many jobs, you know, like at schools and restaurants where you're literally just exchanging your time for money. And I'm gonna be honest, for video, I am exchanging time for money too, but like, you know what I mean? When you're at like a regular job, like you're just kind of sitting around, just like sometimes pretending to do work, just making sure your boss is like, isn't gonna yell at you, but like you're always just kind of like dilly-dallying around or just doing whatever you're supposed to do, you know, but just kind of staring at the clock like you're back in school. But like, I like video because like it's all about the job, you know, like if I finish a house earlier, then I could dip, I'm good to go, I'm ready to go, I could leave. But I just love how simple it is, you know, like I show up at a house, I get the pictures, I look at the package, what they ordered, you know, 25 pictures, 36 pictures, you know, like an Instagram reel, vertical version video, some drone footage, maybe like a YouTube style video, and boom, I'm done. And I really like that I'm able to see like the full product from start to finish, like really fast actually. Because me and my boss's company, we use this thing called Aereo, which is basically just like a real estate software where you're able to place orders. And it's really satisfying because like after I shoot a house, maybe the next day or two, I could go back and I can see the results. I could see all the images I took. I could see all the final deliverables of my content. You know, I could see the Instagram video I shot for them. I could see the YouTube style video I shot for them. And it's just kind of fun to just see your work come to life. And I really like that about video because like with so many other professions, like the work you put into the end product can be really long, and a lot of the times you don't really know what you're working for, you know. But like with video, it's very simple. I show up, I film the video, I take the pictures, wait a day or two, and then I could see them come to life. And I'm always kind of on Instagram, you know, like checking out the realtors, seeing if they're posting my work, and it's just kind of cool to see your work just come to life and just kind of live online, you know. Like obviously, I'm not really super passionate about real estate and houses and stuff, but like it is satisfying to just see like your work kind of make a difference and just come to life and see how realtors are using your work, just see these little videos pop up on Instagram. It's just kind of satisfying, and I think that's kind of cool about being a videographer. So I think that's a really big reason why I genuinely enjoy being a videographer. Another reason why I really enjoy being a videographer is the fact that you're able to use so much cool camera gear. You guys know me, I'm a huge camera nerd. I love gear, I love gimbals, I love Sony cameras, I love lenses, I love drones especially, you guys know that. And with real estate, I'm able to use that for money. So in a sense, like it's actually worth it for me to just buy all this different gear, test it out, because let's be honest, like gear really does matter. And it is important to kind of stay on top of the newest gear, experiment, because that's how you're able to kind of separate your work from the masses, you know, because let's be honest, videography is a really saturated field, you know, especially with phones nowadays, you know, and all this like cheaper technology. There's so many people that are able to get pretty decent results with camera gear. So that's why it's so important to always kind of at least be knowledgeable and staying on top and trying to buy the best gear you can get, because I know obviously, you know, the skills you have as a gimbal operator, your mind, you know, the composition is all really important in videography and filmmaking, but let's be honest, gear is also really important, because when you have the nicest gear, it just makes your results kind of stand out that much more, which is really important in this field. And I love gear, and it's so fun for me to just be able to use my gear on a daily basis, you know, because I spent a lot of money on gear, you know, on drones, cameras, gimbals, and it's just so satisfying to be able to use that gear on a daily basis for work, you know. Like just a few months ago, I decided to just splurge and get the RS4 Pro. I was coming from the RS2 and I decided like, you know, my RS2 is getting kind of weird, you know, like the horizon wasn't really working well and I just didn't feel like it was that smooth. So, you know, I just decided to just buy the RS4 Pro, and it's a great excuse because now I get to use it every day for work, and it's really great because that thing is really smooth. Like they really upgraded the algorithm on that thing, And it's just really fun to be able to use gear you like, because videography is a very hands-on job. I really like to think of videography as basically you're just kind of like a contractor, you know, you're just like a plumber, like any of those kind of services that people just call to work in their homes, you know, that's really what you are. You're just like a service provider. You show up, bring your tools, your workman, get the job done, deliver it, and then get out of there, get on to the next one. And it's just so satisfying to be able to just have a nice kit of gear that I really like to use, that's really reliable, and I just know everything about. And it's just really fun to use all my gear, you know? Like, even though for a lot of these shoots, it's just very simple stuff, you know, just like a few drone photos, like 6 drone photos, just some simple drone clips of the property and stuff, and maybe around the neighborhood and some parks. But every time I fly like my Air 3, my Mavic, or even Inspire sometimes, like it's satisfying. Like, I really am grateful that I'm able to fly my drone on a daily basis for work. You know, I love my drone, I love filmmaking, so it is really fun to just be able to use your gear on a daily basis for work. And that's why I love being a videographer, because I'm just able to have an excuse to buy all this gear and test it out, you know? Because obviously I like making YouTubes for videos as well too, but it's cool to just be able to work with it and just get paid for using gear. And I like to think of all my gear as investments, you know? Like, when you're professional, gear is not just like a toy, you know? Like, it really is a tool. So it's just, yeah, I think that's all I can say about that, but you guys know how much I love gear. But yeah, one of the main reasons why I love being a videographer. Love all the gear. Another reason why I really enjoy being a videographer is the fact that no day is exactly the same. You know, like as I mentioned earlier, obviously I'm doing a lot of real estate. It does get a little bit repetitive, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It does get a little bit repetitive, but I wanna be honest, I'll take this job any day over sitting in a 9 to 5, you know, doing that daily commute. Imagine me driving to San Francisco every day, sitting in a cubicle, sitting in traffic 2 ways, you know, over 2 hours of driving each day. Like, that would absolutely destroy me. But like, being a videographer, I'm able to just experience different cities, you know? Like, some days I'm going to San Francisco, some days I'm going to San Jose, Fremont, you know, maybe I'm going to like Vacaville, you know? Obviously these cities aren't the most amazing things in the world, but like, it is really enjoyable, you know, to be able to just have a job where you're able to go to different places every day, you know? Like, as I mentioned earlier, like at a young age, I always knew I wanted a job that I could be on my feet, you know, I could be exploring, I could be checking out different cities and doing different things and experiencing different stuff. And being a videographer really does make that dream come true, you know? Like, it is a lot of driving, and we're gonna talk about that later, but like, it is fun to be able to just work in different cities, because I'm always checking out new neighborhoods, you know? Like, ever since I started working real estate, like, I feel like I know the Bay Area than I ever did before. And I honestly feel like I know and understand the different areas of the Bay Area definitely a lot more than the average person, you know, because on a daily basis, I'm checking out so many different cities, you know. The range that we cover is about like an hour, probably like hour 15 without traffic, you know, from our home base. I live in Walnut Creek, you know, so like, that's pretty far, you know. The Bay Area is really big, and there's a lot of different cities you could go within that range. And I've just had the pleasure of just checking out so many different cities, so many different neighborhoods I would never check out, you know. Like, I'm just always in these random neighborhoods, different parks, different restaurants, different downtowns. And it's just such a joy to be able to just go around, you know, try out some different restaurants, get some pho here, get some boba here. You know, like, it's kind of small, but like these little differences, these little tiny pleasures make a big difference in your day and routine, you know, as a working professional. So I think that's a big reason why I love being a videographer. It's just so fun to always be checking out different areas. So that's enough for that reason. All right, another reason why I love being a videographer is the fact that if you're a contractor like me, I am a 1099 contractor. Like, obviously I do the real estate mostly full time, you know, that keeps me really busy, but I'm not tied to that, you know. Like, I'm still able to take on other jobs. I could still work for whoever I want, you know. Like, if I have a wedding, if I have an event on the weekend, weekday, doesn't matter. I'm able to take on all these different jobs. And that's really great for my income, because I have that solid stream of income coming in from my real estate work, you know. That's the daily grind. But like, once people start hitting me up more for, you know, weddings, other drone jobs, some FPV stuff, anything you imagine, you know, interview stuff, talking head stuff, I'm able to just kind of take up that work and just eat it up, and then schedule myself, you know, make my own schedule. You know, I could just let my boss for real estate know I'm busy that day, that's fine. I have other people that can cover me, and I'm able to just, again, you know, experience different stuff, do different jobs, you know. So like, even though real estate does get really repetitive, it does get pretty exciting once other jobs come in on the weekends, or just whenever that I'm able to take on that can really kind of help diversify my skill set, kind of help build up my reel, get different experience. And that's really fun being a videographer. Just the fact that you're able to basically take on any jobs, you know, like there's no, sky's the limit to what kind of jobs you could do as a videographer. You know, like the world is limitless. So that's why I love being a videographer. All right, coming up to my last reason why I love being a videographer for today. As an introvert, I really enjoy this job because like, I don't really have to see my boss too much, you know, like I just drive to these houses myself, I meet the realtor, get the job done, I go to the next house, I have lunch by myself. You spend a lot of time in the car, I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of music, but it's just a really nice, cool job where you can just be in your own world, don't have to deal with too much bullshit. And that's really important for me because like I said, at those other jobs I worked at, like I just felt so like stuck, you know, just working in these workplaces, always seeing the same people all the time, and just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like I was thriving that much. But ever since I became a videographer, like I'm really kind of starting to settle in this nice routine where I'm able to just kind of chill out, do my job, stay calm, you know, enjoy myself, try to educate myself the best as I can, listen to all these different podcasts like Modern Wisdom, Diary of a CEO, Joe Rogan sometimes, not really, honestly, he's getting a little bit kind of out there for me, but you know, it's fun to listen to all these podcasts. But like, that's why I love being a videographer, because you're able to have a lot of time to yourself and just really enjoy your space. And that's really important to me as someone who's an introvert and as someone who really values, you know, my alone time and my time to learn and stuff. So if you guys are like that too, I think you guys might really enjoy being a videographer. If you guys are kind of entrepreneurial, you guys are kind of introverted, I think you guys will really thrive being a videographer. But that's not to say you can't be really quiet and awkward, you know, like being a videographer, it's really important to be like an entrepreneur. You have to be really business minded, you know, you have to be very friendly, outgoing, you have to market yourself, you know, that's a whole video in itself. But like, I think with videography, you could strike a really nice balance where obviously you have to be talkative, you have to be social, but there is a lot of downtime you spend, you know, getting to different jobs, waiting for shoots. It's a lot of time by yourself. So I think that's a huge plus actually for being a videographer. So that's gonna wrap it up for all the reasons why I love being a videographer. All right, guys, so as you guys might imagine, being a videographer is not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not the most best, amazing thing in the world, you know? Obviously, I love it. I'm grateful to be able to do it full time, but let's be honest, there's gonna be a few downsides to being a full-time videographer. And the first reason I wanna talk about is the fact that it could take a couple years to really start making some real money being a videographer, you know? Like, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I'm gonna be honest, like it wasn't easy. I basically got into videography when COVID started, you know, I was working at this school, I was kind of feeling stuck at my job, but then the pandemic happened, you know, everything shut down. And honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, you know, like obviously I'm not gonna say COVID was amazing because so much bad stuff has happened to people died, so many businesses closed. But for me personally, once the pandemic hit, it allowed me to really kind of hone in my skills as a videographer. I was able to spend a lot of time learning about video, you know, watching YouTube tutorials, really practicing making videos, editing, learning the whole art form of it. And it was a huge blessing because during this time I was able to reach out to people and slowly start picking up jobs, you know. I started off doing just kind of some simple like corporate videos, helping out with some interviews. I got my first internship doing some like kind of videos for like a nonprofit. Then I started doing some, you know, like high school football games. It started off really slow, but I was able to start doing some weddings with this other guy. I was able to just start getting a lot of experience. I started working on some more narrative stuff, you know, like I was a grip on like a feature film in Lake Tahoe. I was PA, you name it. I was doing the whole works, you know, but like as the years went on, I was able to kind of find my specialty and start to build up my network and get more experience. That's when I started really finding my path with drones. I realized I really loved aerial cinematography and drones. I really love gimbal footage. I love using the gimbal and I love Sony cameras. And as time went on, I was able to gratefully land this real estate job. And I was really lucky. I was able to find this real estate company that was looking for work. And it's basically been really great ever since, because now I feel like I'm able to use all the skills I learned over those years to make money in this real estate field. So that's been really great. But I'm gonna be honest, it was a grind, and there were a lot of times where I almost quit, you know, like it's not easy, trust me. Like there were so many times where I was like, you know what? Should I quit video and just pursue a 9 to 5? Should I go back to school? Should I get a master's? Should I be a plumber? Should I be an electrician? You know, there's so many times where I almost quit, you know, but like I kept pushing forward because let's be honest, like you have to believe in yourself to do this, you know, like there's gonna be so many people in your life that are gonna tell you like, no, don't be a videographer. You're not gonna make enough money. Maybe you gotta go to film school, you know, like you can't do it, you're not good enough, but like you have to keep pushing. You have to keep believing in yourself because this job is really not easy. And if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is. So that's really important if you're gonna try to be a full-time videographer, and it's definitely not easy. So to you guys out there that are kind of starting to get into this, do not be discouraged. Keep pushing forward, keep learning, because if you want to make it in this field, you have to be really entrepreneurial. You know, imagine all those guys like Hormozy, Chris Williamson. You have to be like that, but for video, you know, always be pushing, make more content, market yourself, always be learning. That's gonna be really important to be a professional videographer. So definitely not easy. So make sure you really stay vigilant, make sure you have thick skin, and just stay strong. Another really important thing to note about being a videographer is the fact that the working hours can be really unpredictable, you know, and for me personally, I don't mind too much. I am kind of spontaneous. I don't really mind that spontaneity, you know. It's kind of like being on call. You're kind of like an on-call nurse, especially for real estate, you know. All these jobs are coming in last minute, the day before, the night before, sometimes even the same day, you'll get requests to do these jobs. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it does get to me sometimes because like, let's be honest, like right now, this week, it's all empty for real estate. I have a few jobs doing some like performances. I might be doing like an interview later this week, but like for real estate, nothing is set in stone. Like right now, my whole real estate calendar for next week is open, but I am kind of praying I get a tiny break this week because I have some other jobs and I kind of just want to rest right now. But let's be honest, I have no idea what the schedule is going to be like. Like for all I know, there could be like 3, 4, or 5 jobs added tonight, this very night, you know? Like you never know with realtors, they're always adding jobs last minute. So if you're not really good with that spontaneity and that unpredictability, you might struggle in this field because you really have to be prepared to just shoot whenever, be able to drive whenever, do jobs. So that's why it's really important to have like kind of a solid routine, you know, like I love to go to the gym, I love to go to the sauna, and that really kind of grounds me in my routine. But if I didn't have that, I might lose my mind and go crazy because yeah, it's just so unpredictable, your schedule sometimes, you know. I'm basically like running around with like a chicken with its head cut off, you know, like there's so much going on sometimes, but I do kind of thrive in that chaos a little bit, you know. You do have to be kind of wild to survive in this field, but that's definitely a huge downside for videography. It's like your schedule is so unpredictable, so just be ready for anything. Another downside to being a videographer is the fact that you really have to market yourself and find your own jobs, you know? Like obviously with any job in the world, you have to apply and find jobs, but especially for videography, you know, because you're a contractor, you're a freelancer, so you really have to search for your own work. I've been really lucky and grateful that I was able to find this real estate company to work with, so I have consistent work coming in. But I'm gonna be honest, if I didn't have the real estate, I would probably be struggling trying to find my other jobs because I do other jobs, you know, like drone stuff. I have other guys I work for doing other corporate videos, you know, some school performances and stuff, but like that is kind of far and few in between, you know? Like those are really good to help, you know, add in some extra income, but without real estate, like I'd honestly be screwed. So that's why I'm really trying to work on making more YouTubes, trying to market myself even more, and just trying to really diversify my network and just try to get as much work as I can and put my name out there, because once real estate gets slow, that's when other jobs really come in clutch. And that's another thing I want to talk about is the fact that when it gets slow in video, I mean, it gets really slow, trust me. Like once like October hits, like October, November, December, even a little bit of January, like during those winter months and the holidays, especially once it starts raining, like real estate and video work is just like really dead, you know? So you really have to be good at saving, managing your finances, finding other jobs to help supplement that, because you have to be ready when it gets slow. So that's a huge downside for being a videographer, is that you don't always have this solid income coming in. It can be really variable depending on how the market is going, how the weather is, and just how willing people are to make videos and stuff. So that's a really huge thing to keep in mind for being a full-time videographer. All right guys, so that's about it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy this format. I know it's not like what I usually make, but I think you guys will really enjoy this kind of content. You know, I'm just trying to be really honest with you guys and really just kind of tell you guys about, you know, how my life is doing and give you guys some tips on how you guys might be able to also be a full-time videographer. It's definitely not easy, but I know you guys can do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button. I'm almost at 2K now, so thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.